Will it finally be the year that UT and A&M play each other in a bowl? I don't know, but we shall find out. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Little Red, and thanks for stopping by. So in today's video, I really wanted to discuss college football. I am a big college football fan. I actually went to UTSA, go Runners, beep beep, and I was there when the football team actually started, and it was super cool. I remember going to the Alamo Dome with all of my sorority sisters and it being like a really cool thing. Growing up, I lived in a divided family. By divided, I mean my dad was a Longhorn fan, UT, and my mom was an Aggie, gig. And now I am getting married to an Aggie. College football is coming to an end, which is incredibly sad. We are now going on to bowl season, which if you don't know anything about college football, then it's really kind of like mini playoffs, although there are actual playoffs. Over years since UT and A&M have stopped playing, they have always been saying that they were going to meet up again in a bowl. It's been this whole thing. Every year I see an article, not just one article, not just two, not three, but like plenty of them. And they never play. They never play. There's always rumors that it's the SEC that doesn't want to play UT. There's a lot of acronyms in this video. I am sorry. It just is what it is. If football's not your thing, get ready for the lowdown on UT versus A&M. The goal of this video is really to decide who is the better team, because like every year, they always say that UT and A&M will play each other in the bowl, and then they never do. There's the rumors that the Big 12, which really only has 10 teams in it, but you can't call it the Big 10 because there's already a Big 10 who has 12, maybe 13, whatever. And it's confusing, and it's fine, and it's whatever. But it's the conferences really that, from what I understand, is the reason why they don't play. And it's really sad because it's a really good rivalry game and everybody wants to see it, and I don't know why the people just don't get into it, but it's fine. Since we're probably not going to see that game again this year, and probably by the time this video comes out, we're already going to know who UT and A&M are playing for their bowl games. Both are bowl eligible because they've had over 6 wins in the year, which is great. Kudos to them. But if you look at the team's history, all of their stats, all of their traditions, even this year alone, who is truly the better school? Who is truly the better football team? Who should deserve bragging rights? Bragging rights based on my own competition. I am going to judge these schools on 3 things. The first being their overall stats, from beginning of their football years to the end. The second is going to be judged on their actual year to date. So the 2019 football year, their stats, their wins, everything. And then we're going to judge them on their traditions. Who has the better traditions? Who loves their football team the most? I have my assumptions, but I will try not to be biased. As I said, I am technically a Roadrunner. I should have no bias towards any of these, although I grew up a Longhorn fan, but I have Aggies all around me. So what is it? So we're going to go down some information. I would like to state that UT and A&M only started a year apart from each other. So the total seasons for UT that they have played is 118. A&M has only played 117 of those. In that complete time, UT has had a total of 863 wins. Total. That's a lot of wins. A&M has had 726. And so they're not far off, but they're about, 140 away. And so, and one year isn't going to make up that difference. The total losses that UT has had from their beginning is 365. A&M's is 472. total ties, which is interesting because I actually don't think you can tie anymore in football. I think you just have to do the overtimes, and then maybe you have too many overtimes now and you have to actually tie then. I don't know, but I was at the A&M game, the A&M LSU game last year where they went into 7 overtimes and A&M actually won. And that was probably the best game I've ever been to in my entire life. But that's beside the point. So, UT has had 32 total ties, and A&M has had 44 total ties. I would also like to note that some of these stats are not completely correct because I think these numbers that I pulled, although I pulled them in late November of this year, I don't think it has added up all of the actual wins and losses for 2019. So these numbers might be a little off, but they're good gists. This year is not gonna make or break either team in my competition. There are things called conference championships. And so every team is in a conference. So as I had mentioned earlier, A&M is in SEC and Longhorns are in the Big 12. They, with all of the teams that are in their designated conferences, will pick the top 2 teams and then they will play. Whoever wins is designated the conference champion. So if UT plays OU because they're in the same conference and UT beats OU, then they are the Big 12 champion. And so the conference championships are 32 for UT and 20 for A&M. So Big 12, like 12 different. Like a difference of 12 is what we're talking about, which is a significant number. Then you start going into bowl games. So as I had mentioned earlier, there are conference championships, which are very different than the bowl games. The bowl games are an added game on top of your conference championship. So in a year, generally, teams only get 12 games to play. If you go to the conference championship, you get a 13th game. If you go to a bowl, you can have a 14th game. I believe that's correct. Over time, most teams get to go to a bowl. The higher that they start ranking, the better they start doing. It's all based on everything. And so if you win at least 6 games, you are bowl eligible. Over the years, UT has been to 55 total bowls, and they've won 29 of those. A&M has been to 40 total bowls, and they've won 18 of those. I wouldn't say that that's a significant difference, but it is something to note that UT has won more than half of their bowl games, and A&M has not. In the past, there were bowl games that would be designated the national championship game. Now it's different in the fact that they have these playoffs, 4 teams go to the playoffs, they battle it out until you get the number 1, number 2, and then they play, and then it's fine. Generally, Alabama's in that, and it's fine. But LSU did beat Alabama this year, and that was great. Anyways, so UT has won 4 total national championships. A&M has won 3. So that's pretty close. It's pretty close, really close. For our final overall stats from beginning to end, our last stat is Heisman Trophy winners. So if you don't know what Heisman Trophy winner is, it's the top MVP of college football. So you are the top dog, you have the best stats, you're the greatest, you deserve everything, woot woot woot, go you. Both UT and A&M have only had 2 Heisman Trophy winners. Interesting, right? Just looking at these stats alone, I know we went over a bunch of things, it's fine. I would say from beginning to end, UT has the better record from overall stats, overall everything. UT ranks better in this part of our competition. So then we're gonna go on to this year. So looking at the year-to-date stats, although I love me some Longhorns, I really think that A&M has outshined UT in this area of the competition. A&M has faced harder opponents. They faced 3 number 1 teams this year. There's Alabama, there's Clemson, and there's LSU. And I wouldn't say that was a complete blowout, although the LSU game's later today, so we'll see how that one goes. Their team as a whole has gotten a lot better with Jimbo as their coach. Jimbo was a great investment for them. Kudos to them for making that decision. As for UT, there's this theory that Sam Ehlinger, the quarterback for UT, jinxed the Longhorns. The reason for this is, in years past, they weren't doing very well. Like for the past, 8 years or so, the Longhorns were really suffering. They had Charlie Strong as a coach, which I think, yes, he was great in his own, he was great. He was good. He was a great guy. He did his thing. He really made the team respect themselves, which was nice, but you also need to win. Then they got Tom Herman. I was never a Tom Herman fan. I'm just going to say that. Tom Herman, I thought, was overrated. I think he didn't have enough experience, and I think this year proved it. Although, the reason I'm saying that Sam Ehlinger jinxed the team is because at the end of the bowl game last year that they were in 2018, they won. UT won the game by a significant chunk, by like pretty good amount they won. By the end of the game, everyone was celebrating, everyone was having a good time. Sam Ehlinger got on the microphone and goes, "We're back!" And this year they were worse than last year. I'm all about, you're jinxing the team, don't say anything, knock on wood, knock on a virgin's head, not do whatever, I don't care, don't jinx your team. So UT has ended up having a lot of injuries this year. So a lot of their starters are out, and it's really making the team suffer, which is unfortunate. Although I do think Sam Ehlinger is an overall better quarterback than Mond, who is A&M's quarterback. Mond has the team to back him up at this point, which is the reason why they're doing so much better in 2019 than UT is. So it will be really interesting to see if they face actually in a bowl game, like all the articles have been saying. And so if they do, shame on me. That's great. I would love to go to that game. But if they don't, then it's just another year that we're being lied to, and that's not okay. They really need to make up their mind whether UT and A&M are going to play each other in a bowl. And so the fans want it, the conferences are scared. So in this part of the competition, I give A&M the point. They have definitely had a better year than UT. So right now we are 1-1. The final part of this competition is going to decide who the winner is. Will it be UT with the Eyes of Texas, or will it be the Fighting Texas Ags? I don't know. But we're going to go into the tradition aspect of this. And I would just like to mention that I Googled Texas A&M University traditions, and they have a whole Wikipedia website. And so kudos to them. They really know what their traditions are. I've been to some A&M games, and they are super fun. I would like to say that they are great, and they really love their team. One of their traditions is the 12th man. So basically you're only allowed to have 11 players on the team. There's this whole story that goes back into it of why they really focus in on the 12th man as the audience, as the crowd, the fans. But basically every one of the Aggies is a 12th man, essentially. They believe that all of the students need to stand because they are one with the team. You need to be part of the team. We are all a team together. We fight together. We win this together. We're gonna do this together. That's how they think. They really enjoy their community, which is nice. And so it's really a great atmosphere to be part of. Something else is the Aggies have yell leaders rather than cheerleaders. So they're only men. I believe there's only 4 of them. And they basically get the audience pumped up. They rev up the crowd. They have yell practices the midnight before. You learn about the little tricks of the trade of cheering on the team. It's really an interesting sight to see. They tell funny little stories that are just completely made up about the other team. They give the other team a nickname, and then they do a chant that's beat the hell out of whoever. And so UT is TU. They never call them University of Texas. They're Texas University. And it's just an interesting sight to see. They have a different cheer for each one of their classes. So freshmen can only say A, sophomores say A, and juniors say A whoop, I believe, A whoop. And then the seniors say like A whoop. And then they all have to point different ways depending on what class you're in. It's a whole thing. It's a lot of fun to be in the atmosphere. And then they also take a lot of real pride and joy in their band. And they really are great. And so if you haven't seen them, here's a little clip. You don't ever want to joke with an Aggie that one of them is out of line, because they never are. They've won a lot of different things. And so as for more traditions, they really have a lot of them. One of them is at midnight yell, and they just turn out the lights and then you have to like make out with your date. It's really strange. I didn't believe Dane, my fiance, when I first heard it, and we went and it happened, and I was like, oh, this really is a thing, and it's okay. There's a lot of different other traditions that go into the Aggie culture, but we don't have time to go into all of that, because there's some that like give you good luck when you need to go take a test, and there's some the Aggie ring, and there's all these different things, but it's really its own thing. If you go there, it's a different world. It's interesting. It's something you probably will never experience unless you go and actually see it. And I highly recommend it because it's a lot of fun and it's really different. As for UT's traditions, they do not have a whole Wikipedia page about their traditions. They have a short little snippet of their traditions in their Wikipedia information. And let me get to it because they talk about all these other things before you get there. And so I would also like to mention that UT prides themselves on Matthew McConaughey being one of their pride and joys of the university. He's actually teaching a class there now, and it's really cool. He goes to a lot of the football games. He lives in Austin, I believe. And yeah, so here's the traditions. This is exactly what the snippet says. Traditions at the University of Texas are perpetuated through several school symbols and mediums. At athletic events, students frequently sing Texas Fight, the university's fight song, while displaying the hook 'em horns hand gesture, the gesture mimicking the horns of the school's mascot, Bevo, the Texas Longhorn. Of all the things that I actually know about UT and how they put hexes on other teams before they go in, play them, and all of these fun things, that is all the school said on their Wikipedia page. When A&M has a whole book of traditions on their Wikipedia page. I just find it very interesting based on the information I was given here today. The information that I looked over, researched, come to understand. I think I would have to say that A&M gets the last point and that they might be the better team overall. Ooh, what has this world come to? I am a Longhorn fan, and I think Aggies are better than UT. I must ponder this a little bit longer. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. It was great hanging out with y'all for a little bit. If y'all want to see more interesting thoughts or fun adventures from me, go ahead and subscribe below. If you have any questions or you have any actual information that goes against what I said here today, go ahead and comment on it below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. If you disagree with what I did or anything, just let me know. And so I'll see y'all next time. Bye.